It took just one game for that team meeting magic to completely disappear. We'll discuss an utterly embarrassing Angel defeat on tonight's edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast.
You are Locked On Angels Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
11-1, the final score as the Angels lose Game 3, the rubber match of their series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And boy, I don't think there was a single positive from this game. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. Welcome to another edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. I am your host, as always, Gavin Carlson. As always, coming at you live on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel directly after every single Angel game and directly after every single bit of Angel pain that we saw tonight. Shout out to everybody in here. Anaheim Angel saying, glad to have you catch me up with the game since I missed it. Ouch, though. Well, first and foremost, congratulations to you for missing it because you did not miss anything. Daniel Barry in here as well, and he just says evening tonight. He doesn't even say happy Thursday. He doesn't even say what's going on, just evening. Even Daniel Barry, the man himself, is melancholy tonight, and it's impossible not to be because 11-1 might not even do this game justice. And it's crazy because for a few innings, it looked like we had a game. But boy, that disappeared super, super quickly. Before we jump into this one, before we jump into all sorts of rants, talking about the bullpen exploding in his 6th run, 7th inning, talking about Griffin Canning having an okay start that didn't really matter, and talking about the offense returning to doing absolutely nothing. But before we do all of that, quick shout out to the sponsor of today's show. Today's episode is brought to you by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. Once again, the sponsor, Tax Network USA. With all that being said, let's jump right into this one. First and foremost, shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to everybody. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please tell me where this ranks in terms of infuriating Angel games in 2024, because from start to finish, the Angels were out of this one. It's funny. Yesterday couldn't have gone any better. A run in, I believe, a run in 4 straight innings to start the game yesterday, something like that. And today, it just couldn't have gone any more differently. 3 runs in the first from the Diamondbacks thanks to a Christian Walker home run, 1 of 2. And that was just getting started for an awful performance from the entire Angels pitching staff. And I'm going to jump to the 7th inning. As much as we want to talk about the start with Griffin Canning not being great, he was not awful, okay? Canning, 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, a walk, but those 2 home runs to Christian Walker, absolutely deadly. But did not compare to the 7th inning, where a combination of pitchers absolutely laid an egg. Absolutely laid an egg. And I'll just jump to the inning, and then, especially because Anaheim Angels in here telling me he didn't get to see it, I'll jump to the inning, let you know everything that went wrong, and then I'll tell you why it's so infuriating. Griffin Canning gets taken out after giving up 4 runs through 6 innings, and Hunter Strickland walks in. Hunter Strickland, who, talk about a fall from grace. This guy had a sub-1.6 ERA like a week ago. About a week ago. And now he's putting together awful performance after awful performance. And, you know, in previous games, maybe it wasn't the most fair. Even 2 days ago, I think he just came in and gave up 1 hit on a not-so-bad pitch and 2 runs immediately scored. But today it was on him completely. Walks Eugenio Suarez on 4 pitches, none of them really that close. Talk about a lack of confidence. First at bat out of the bullpen, and you walk 4 guys. Not close. Then Moreno comes up, and you hang a slider on a 2-2 count. He rips it 101 exit velo, and Mickey Moniak kind of misplayed it, to say the least. If you don't see the thumbnail of the video, go back and look at that when the postcast is over, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Moniak tries to slide and kind of get in front of an awkward line drive, and boy, does he misplay it. Ironically, the best hitter tonight, for the Angels, Mickey Moniak, but boy, did he misplay it. And it boinks off his glove. Boinks is interesting. It knocks off his glove, dribbles into right field, and maybe it should have been a single, but not maybe. It should have been a single. And instead, it's a double to jumpstart a disaster inning. Because then Kevin Newman comes up, runners on second and third, and it takes just 2 pitches, not even a bad pitch. And that's why this is annoying. Not even a bad pitch. Sinker high and in, but it's lined to right. Kevin Newman scores 2. Moreno and Suarez, and it's 6-1. But the inning was just getting started. Hunter Strickland, nice job, 3 at-bats, doesn't get an out. So then who comes in? Luis Garcia. If Hunter Strickland's having a rough outing, what do you think Luis Garcia is going to do? I don't know. Maybe he's going to do all right. Give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe he's going to do all right. Nope. 4-pitch walk. 4-pitch walk to start his appearance. How many times do we got to say it at this point? You are the 2024 Los Angeles Angels. You already, like a couple months into the year, already have nothing to play for. Just throw some strikes, man. Just throw some strikes. And if they beat you, they beat you. You got nothing to lose. You're already down 6-1 when you show up, Luis Garcia. You're already down 6-1. What are you doing? 4 pitches inside on Corbin Carroll, not even close, doesn't have to think about any of them. He walks him. Now Newman ends up on third. Corbin and Carroll ends up on second. And then what do? You walk Ketel Marte. And tell me what's more infuriating. 4-pitch walk where it's not even close, or going up 0-2 and then throwing 4 straight balls. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Just like, it's funny because coming into this inning, and we'll get into it when I talk about the overall performance in the next 2 segments, but coming into this inning, this bottom of the 7th, I was kind of saying, oh, wow, well, I don't think the Angels are going to win this game at this point. You're down 4-1. You haven't really done anything. There's no sign of life. Whatever miracle meeting you had yesterday has already run out. But, this will be the rare game where the Angels just lose 4-1, and there isn't foolishness. You know how many times I've said on a postcast, there's always foolishness with this team. And for once, it felt like a game where Griffin Canning threw a couple bad pitches, and the offense didn't show up, but that's not surprising, and you just lose the game. That's just baseball, especially baseball with a bad roster. Without the foolishness, though. But then we have this. We have a 4-pitch walk the second your starter comes out that balloons into 3 straight guys getting on base and runs scoring. You take Hunter Strickland out, and then 2 straight walks by the next guy. Like, are these guys even watching the game? I know in the bullpen it's a little more hard, especially when you're warming up, but someone's got to at least tell Luis Garcia when he comes in this game, hey, by the way, Hunter Strickland just walked a guy on 4 pitches. Hey, by the way, you're down 6-1. Throw some strikes. 4 balls to start his appearance. Walks Corbin Carroll. Mind you, this guy was hitting like 200 coming into the series. Now that on-base percentage skyrocketing thanks to us. And then Ketel Marte, who is a great hitter, who is a great player. But you go up 0-2 and you throw 4 balls. It might seem like I'm overreacting off 1 at-bat, but it just encapsulates this team. Just foolishness. 0-2. 4 straight balls. A couple good takes here and there, okay. But you got to throw 1 more in the zone, man. Just do anything but a walk. Give up a 2-run shot. Who cares? It's 6-1. But a 3-run shot. But no, instead of a 3-run shot, you'd rather walk another guy and then give up a grand slam. Good job. Makes perfect sense. Infuriating. And the grand slam pitch was probably one of the better pitches of Luis Garcia's appearance. A sweeper that I guess you're trying to catch him off guard. It's outside, and Jock Peterson somehow is all over it. 107.3 exit velo, 430 feet, and it wasn't even the longest homer of the game, not even close, because Christian Walker hit one to the moon. He hit one to the moon. But suddenly, a 4-1 game where, okay, it hasn't been good. Really, nothing has gone well. But it's 4-1. There hasn't been foolishness. It is what it is. Turns into an embarrassing loss. Embarrassing. The type of loss that immediately undoes what you did yesterday. It immediately overrides the fact that you were, I think it was 5-3 coming into this game in your last 8. I think that's what it was. This completely erases all of that. And that's why it's annoying. It's annoying because Hunter Strickland's a guy we're supposed to be trading for something. He blows up. Luis Garcia, I don't think you're getting nothing for, but now you can't even trade him. Griffin Canning, a guy you low-key could have gotten rid of. He's kind of struggling again. It's infuriating for so many reasons, and we don't expect this team to win, but just make it competitive so I have something to do. Ironically, I'm in the middle of studying for a final while watching this game, and they make it really easy for me because in the bottom of the 7th, it's suddenly 10-1, and I can just start getting the show ready and doing some studying while in the corner of my eye I watch the last couple of innings. Because it's over, and it's not even worth watching. What is there to watch? Hopefully the young guy does something when you're down 11-1. Didn't even mention how they scored another run. Because ironically, speaking of the young guy, we bring in the young guy, and it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well. Oh, just really, really frustrating. Really frustrating. Contreras, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is the one who came in, got a ground out to end the 7th, but then in the 8th, what does he do? I almost forgot. He walks the first guy of the 8th. Like, this is what I mean about foolishness baseball, about boneheaded baseball for the Angels. Just like, are these guys watching the game? I don't get it. I don't get it. Walks the first guy, gives up a single. Surprise, surprise. Eventually, it's going to lead to a run. Jock Peterson, Angel killer here in this one. Grand slam and then an RBI single. All right. Anyways, that was my rant anger because what else is there to do when you lose 11-1 and you absolutely roll over and nobody shows up? Shout out to everybody in here. We're going to take our first quick break. Let me know in the comments what you think of everything with this bullpen and how, like, whose fault is it? Is it Ron Washington's fault for taking out Griffin Canning after 6 innings and giving up 4 runs? Is it the pitching coach's fault for not telling his relievers to not walk guys on 4 pitches when that's all you've done the previous few at-bats? I don't know. You tell me in the comment section whose fault it is. I'm going to take my first break here. This is the Locked On Angels Postcast. Diamondbacks 11, Angels 1. Angels fall to 26-42. And we'll discuss the other reason this game went wrong. Griffin Canning, not the best start to the game, and also the lineup doing absolutely nothing. We'll talk about both of those things when we come back here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. How many times I got to tell you by now, man? Like, I absolutely love Prize Picks, everything about it. And if you don't know by now, with baseball season well underway, as I suddenly can't talk today, with the season well underway, there's no better way to cash in on the action than Prize Picks. Add your favorite players from the Diamond, hopefully not Angels players, to be honest, to your Prize Picks lineups all season long. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first-inning runs, take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks lineup today. You can now win up to 100 times your money with baseball-only lineups on Prize Picks. If you submit a winning lineup featuring 4 Demon Squares, which are harder statistics to win, basically, you'll cash in big time on the biggest moments of baseball's early season. For example, whenever an Angels hitter is on Prize Picks, they're always projected to get 1 hit out of 4, never 2, right? So a Demon Square would be saying more than 1.5 hits, saying they're going to get 2 hits, because that never happens for the Angels, right? So that would be a Demon Square. You get 4 of those, and suddenly you got a chance to 100 times your money. So how do you do that? Download the Prize Picks app today. Join me and 5 million other users. Download the Prize Picks app and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. One more time, download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. I didn't even have the banner up there. That's my fault. I'll throw it up right now in case you don't know by now. Prize Picks right there. Download the app. Today's show is also brought to you by Policygenius. Now look, this is quite ironic here. I graduate from college tomorrow. kind of a crazy thing to say, right? I graduate from college. Life's coming at me fast. I'm 22 years old. In about 2 days, I'm going to be a working adult with no school, at least in the near future. So it's time to start doing adult things for me, whether you're my age or whether you're certainly older than me. It's time to start thinking about life insurance. Life insurance is such an important safety net for your family, but trying to find the right policy on your own can be time-consuming and overwhelming. That's why you should use Policygenius, the country's leading online insurance marketplace. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million worth of coverage. You can talk to a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step. You can easily compare quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks. And most importantly, Policygenius gives you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team that has zero incentive to recommend one insurer over another. So check life insurance off your to-do list like I'm going to do when I graduate with Policygenius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonmlb or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. We're back here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Diamondbacks 11, Angels 1. You saw it in the thumbnail. Utterly embarrassing. Utterly embarrassing. And primarily because of that 6-run 7th and that run in the 8th, the inability to simply throw strikes despite being a major league reliever. But it started from inning 1 for the Angels, unfortunately, and Griffin Canning, who had really been growing into his own, except for one thing, and that is the first inning. After this first inning disaster, his ERA in the first inning is now over 12. Over 12. And I mean, what goes into that? It's so weird because you would think, obviously, the hardest part about being a starting pitcher compared to a reliever, but I mean, our relievers make everything look really hard, by the way, but the hardest thing for a starter is, all right, you get through the lineup the first time, maybe even get through it the second time, but by the third time, those guys have all seen what you've got. They've especially seen what you've got today, specifically. They know what the strike zone is. That's when it's supposed to be harder for the pitcher. Not in the first inning, but today and every day for Griffin Canning, the first inning is a problem, a huge, huge problem. And today, he did not get any help from the home plate umpire. Let's be honest. He did not get any help. Kind of forced him into that Christian Walker home run, which we'll get to in a second. He did not get much help. And the other thing I didn't know is that the Diamondbacks are actually the best team in baseball when it comes to scoring in the first inning. So you've got best hitting team in the first inning, worst pitcher in the first inning in all of baseball, Griffin Canning, with that 12-plus ERA. Worst in all of baseball. That is a combination, a deadly combination headed for Angel disaster, and that's what we got. Even with a leadoff ground out from Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte doubles on another case of going from 0-2 to 2-2. Then he kind of hangs the changeup a little bit, but just a good piece of hitting. Ketel Marte hits a outside changeup down the left field line, or to left field, 97 miles an hour off the bat. Not a good start. Then Jock Peterson walks, part of his massive game, and the umpire didn't help him here, right? First pitch, curveball, high, hard call to get, but it's in the zone. The ball 4 was a changeup high and away. Once again, not really a typical pitch, but it was technically on the corner. He didn't get either of those calls, but he also threw 2 pitches, 2 sliders, nowhere near. Had a better chance of hitting Jock Peterson's foot than getting in the strike zone, and the only strike was a changeup right down the middle. So was not a good at-bat for him. Obviously didn't get 2 calls, but now you've got first and second with 1 out. And this is where the umpire, once again, did not help Griffin Canning at all. He throws the first pitch nowhere near, again on the slider, which he did not have at all tonight at any point. First pitch slider down and away, not there, not close. Obviously, you're not trying to throw that first strike, but it's not close. Then he throws a 4-seamer at the knees, and it's so clearly a strike. So clearly a strike, and you don't get it. And you're already bad in the first inning. You've already got 2 guys on. There's only 1 out. And then on 1-0, a clear strike at the knees is not given. Unfortunate indeed. Suddenly it's 2-0. Then he throws a 2-0 slider down and away, nowhere near again. I think he was probably trying to just lob a slider in there, but he missed it. The slider was not there tonight. And then he works it back with a fastball and a slider, both fouled off. But on 3-2, honestly, one of the better pitches of the at-bat, a fastball up and in, but clearly Christian Walker was waiting for it. I think part of it is that when you're not locating the slider very well, you being Griffin Canning, Christian Walker on 3-2 is going to anticipate a fastball or a changeup. I thought it should have been a changeup. He throws a fastball up and in, completely different from any other pitch in the at-bat, and Christian Walker destroys it. And part of it is you got to tip your cap. Part of it is, dang, Griffin Canning is cursed in the first inning. Part of it is, dang, the umpire screwed you over in the at-bat. But above all else, it's not good enough. And it's 3-0 right away. Christian Walker, 107 exit velo, 404 feet, his 14th of the year. He hit it. It was basically a no-doubter to left field. And just like that, it's 3-0. Just like that, it's 3-0. Now, Canning would make one more mistake in the bottom of the third against guess who? Christian Walker again. And when I say, I don't think I've ever, while watching a game live, seen a ball hit that far. Like where it just like looked from that moment like an absolute no-doubter. But a 2-1 slider right down the middle. Ironically, this is a pitch that would look like a high and in fastball, but Walker knew it wasn't. He knew it was a slider. It hung in there. It was supposed to be away. It was right down the middle, and Walker hit it 113 off the bat, 464 feet, the 5th longest home run of the year in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, Pilar took 1 or 2 steps in left field and then just looked up, and there it went. And just like that, there went the Angels' chances. There went that team meeting magic. It all just disappeared. Because you're down 4-0. This team rarely overcomes that. This team rarely scores more than 4 runs, but especially when they're down 4-0. And so from that moment, it was game over, surely enough. And it just got a whole lot worse from there. But yeah, Griffin Canning now falls to 2-7 with a 4.76 ERA. Is 2-7 a little harsh for a 4.76 ERA? Probably. This guy Fat, I think it was Fat. No, it was Fought. It was Fought. It was how you pronounced it. 3-5 with a 4.38 ERA. So Griffin Canning's record pretty significantly worse, despite the ERAs being pretty similar. Probably not fair to Griffin Canning, but it wasn't good enough today, and it hasn't been good enough in the first inning all season. We're going to take our last break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Diamondbacks 11, Angels 1. Angels blown out in the rubber match to lose the series 1-2 to start the road trip 1-2 after that 4-2 home stand. We'll take our last break, and when we come back, we'll just take a real quick, because I don't want to be too depressing here on a Thursday night. We'll take a real quick look at the Angels' offensive performance and say, wow, fall from grace. Return to brutal baseball. You know, just back to business, and business being not so good. We'll talk about that after our last break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Today's show is also brought to you by Tax Network. Now, you might have heard me talk about Tax Network yesterday during a win. You might have heard me talk about Tax Network as the title sponsor of today's show. But here on the Locked On Angels Postcast, here at all of Locked On, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's in the offseason with the Locked On Angels Podcast guys, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round, though? Collections season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. Now, like I said in the past, I took multiple tax classes while at UCLA, and yeah, it's something a lot of people don't realize. They just know that one date they're supposed to file and all that. They don't realize that it's a year-round thing, especially the amount of reasons that you have to file taxes. You know, it's not just what did you make. It's so much more. It's so much more. And so, with over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. This is the key right here. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or you finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. One more time, call 1-800-549-1000 1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. And you can also see the link in the episode description below. So no matter the reason, no matter the time, use Tax Network USA. We are back one more time here on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel live. And shout out to everybody listening after the fact, both on the channel, both on wherever you get your podcasts. No matter where you get them, leave a like, leave a good rating, leave a comment, share it with other people, share it with all your Angels friends, because at this point, maybe the postcast is more entertaining than the game itself. I'm just throwing it out there. But Angels fall 11-1. They absolutely no-showed in every aspect. The bullpen, the starting pitcher, Griffin Canning, and the offense. The only run for the Angels, ironically, coming from one of the guys I least expected from, Mickey Moniak at the top of the fourth. And I was actually, a pretty encouraging kind of comeback for the Angels just in that fourth, getting one run. It's like, all right, you're down 4-0. You easily could roll over, but oh wait, some life. Kevin Pillar absolutely ripped one and lined out to lead off the inning, but Logan O'Hoppe stays hot with a first pitch, which is becoming his bag, by the way. Get in your bag. First pitch fastball, 101.2 off the bat, hits at 314, kind of right over the head of Corbin Carroll. Zach Neto strikes out swinging. It was rough. But then Mickey Moniak with 2 outs gets kind of a, I don't want to say lucky hit because he hit it decently well, but a curveball right below the knees. He's able to reach down just enough and rip it into right center field. Nice little line drive, a good swing against a righty for Mickey Moniak. That's what we love to see from a guy that I learned today has a bottom 10 batting average against righties in all of baseball. And this guy is hitting what today? 7th, I think it was? Like, that's just embarrassing, man. That's just embarrassing. The 10th worst batting average against righties in all of baseball. It's hitting 7th in your lineup against righties. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. We know that. Boy, do we know that. But that was the only RBI of the game. Otherwise, this team did nothing. Shanuel 1 for 3. He did have a walk to start the game. 1 for 3. I'll take that. Rengifo continues to be a bright spot. I think at this point, as much as I would love to keep this guy, whatever you can get for him, because you can get a lot for him, I think. How many teams would love to have a guy that's going to guarantee you at least one hit a game? OPS over 800, by far the best on the team. But he's going to guarantee you a hit a game, probably 2. The fielding is going to be solid. He's getting a little bit smarter on the bases. You can get something for him. But he goes 2 for 4. Taylor Ward back to his normal self of 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Another guy that we keep reading all these reports about, New York Post today, adding to the rumors of Taylor Ward's a guy that people are going to be interested in. Well, not if he keeps swinging like this. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Kevin Pillar 0 for 3 with the strikeout. We need him to stay hot so we can get something for him. Logan O'Hoppe 1 for 4. He did have 2 strikeouts. That's concerning, but the average is still 275. Still been one of the most consistent hitters on the team. Also just a guy that I'm never going to yell at. He's never going to do anything that's going to frustrate you. He's always got the right attitude. His at-bats are always, for the most part, pretty solid. And, even when he struck out there, down and away fastball looking, tough pitch, let the ump, ask the ump was that a strike. Just act like you care. That's all we can ask for at this point. Zach Neto 1 for 4, sticking right at that 250 average. We can live with that from your guy hitting 6th. Mickey Moniak 1 for 2, like I said, gets that RBI. He had 2 walks as well. One of his better performances of the season, but that average goes all the way up to 179. Woo! Joe Adell back to his normal ways. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Are there any surprises there? Back to 194 for the batting average. And Michael Stefanik going up and down, batting 1st or batting 9th. Kind of confusing. They have him 9th here. Let's be honest. I'd rather see him than Joe Adell hit right now. Even after this performance from Moniak, I'd still probably rather see him than Moniak. So what's wrong with Stefanik batting 7th? I get it. You want the second leadoff hitter concept with the guy hitting 9th. I don't know. But he goes 0 for 2 here. He did draw a walk. That was the only real thing that the Angels had were 4 walks. Good job. But guess what? We walked 6, so we still lose that battle. Nonetheless, pretty subpar performance from the offense. Obviously, just 6 hits against a pitcher that came in, not a world beater at all. The ERA was over 4. It's still over 4 even after this start. Certainly could have at least put up a couple runs, but no, just 1 run on that Mickey Moniak RBI and nothing else. Nothing else to show for it. I mean, the 2 plays of the game for the Angels were a Mickey Moniak RBI single, and a Cole Tucker play. Lord help me. Hey, it was a great play, by the way. Shout out to Cole Tucker for the catch, running to left field, down the line, had to make a leaping catch kind of at an awkward part of the wall. He made a good play, but when the best plays of the game are an RBI single and a catch from Cole Tucker, who should not be in the big leagues, hitting 170, that tells you about all you need to know for this one. 11-1 the final. Diamondbacks 11, Angels 1. 26-42 are the Angels. Thank goodness that there's a team worse than us in the division because we're somehow still fourth in the AL West. But 26-42, falling to 1-2 on this road trip. That road record is getting worse and worse. That was the only thing we could be proud about for our Halos. But yes, a disastrous performance in every sense of the word. 6 runs allowed in the 7th, 11 runs total. Bullpen was brutal. Starter wasn't great. Offense was brutal. Ron Washington, you could probably say to some degree, was brutal because the second he took out a starter, things unraveled. So once again, no positives really. No positives. How fun is that? Yikes. But we're used to it here. We're used to it. So shout out to everybody. I hope I wasn't too much of a Debbie Downer. Let's be honest. It's 11-1. It's 11-1. If you lost 4-1, it'd be different. But you lose 11-1, it's hard to be excited, all right? Hopefully things are better. One more thing I will say. And I hate to do this. I hate to do this because you know how much I love you guys, how much I've appreciated all the support so far. But it is my graduation weekend. And so unfortunately, a little bit of a 50-50 tomorrow and Saturday in terms of the postcast. Certainly one of the 2 days it will happen. I'm hoping it is both. But it depends on a couple things. It depends on how long the ceremonies take. I have a ceremony tomorrow afternoon to evening. I have a ceremony tomorrow night. So I'm hoping the game ends in time to where I can do the Saturday game before, or the Saturday postcast before the ceremony begins on Saturday. And I also have another ceremony Sunday, but it's morning. So I'll be done with that and certainly will be able to do the postcast on Sunday. But 50-50, unfortunately, for tomorrow in the series opener against the Giants. 50-50, but I will do everything I can. Obviously, I can't control how quickly UCLA does the commencement, but depending on the timing of that, there may be a show tomorrow night. Depending on the timing of the game on Saturday, there may be a show. I'd say if you need me to put a probability on it, just so you know, I'd say for Saturday, it's like 80%. I think it'll happen on Saturday for sure. For tomorrow, I'm going to put it at 50-50. So I will let you know. I did it last time. I'll leave a post on the YouTube community page, leave a little comment, letting you know the deal. But just know that if it's the 9th inning and you don't see a postcast scheduled tomorrow, that means that graduation stuff got in the way. But, you know, the good news for you guys, and if there really is any good news for the Angels, is after this weekend, I graduate, and there will likely not be anything getting in the way of a postcast after every single game. So shout out to all of you for the support. Everyone's been super amazing with the comments about congratulating me on graduation. I appreciate that a lot. Yes, I am washed, as I keep saying. I'm about to be a true adult tomorrow evening when I officially graduate from UCLA. But fingers crossed on a postcast tomorrow. Most likely there will be one Saturday, and there will certainly be one on Sunday. Whether I see you twice or all 3 times in the next 3 days, I will see you. I will be here live on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel talking about our Halos. 11-1 the final. Let's hope things go better tomorrow. Let's hope things go better this weekend. Appreciate you all. I'm Gavin Carlson, signing out. So long.